Hello everyone, I'm Colleen Stadelweiser. I am a birth keeper, truth seeker, and yoga guide. And today we're gonna do some wall yoga. So make sure you have a cleared wall behind you. Make sure it's not like a window or if there's anything else there, because we are going to be putting our whole body against that wall in a side position. So make sure you have lots of space. And I also just want to talk about what props you'll need today. Make sure you have some blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, then I recommend using hardcover books because they're stable. You can sit on them in case you want to use a block just to hold yourself up. Make sure you have a blanket for sure. If you don't have a blanket, then use some beach towels, anything that's really foldable. Nothing too poofy because you want it to be able to fold up. Also, make sure you have a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, again, you can just use perhaps a martial arts belt or a house coat belt or a scarf or any kind of belt really. And then the last prop I really like you to have is a bolster. This is a yoga bolster. If you don't have a yoga bolster, that's okay. Also, just use a pillow, a cushion, or multiple blankets that are foldable. Or towels. So just start yourself. Actually, we'll do this. Did I do this? Now I've got my mat right against my wall here, which is going to be really helpful for later on. But it just means for the stretch we're going to have to go kind of side to side and front to back. So just come into a laying down position, reclined, into your Shavasana. Have your strap ready. You can release it, just lay it across your body. And come into your breath. Closing your mouth, closing your eyes. This week's about letting go of what we can't change, letting go of what we're holding on to, letting go of tension and stress, letting go of the past, letting go of expectation, and letting go of any comparisons we have of ourselves to others. Just come into your breath, come into your body. Notice what's going on inside. Notice all the space you have inside. Take an inhale. And start to hug your knees in towards your chest. Massage your sacrum a bit, maybe doing some big circles or rocking side to side or back and forth. If you do circles, switch directions. Try to keep your feet flexed as you move and massage the sacrum. And extend your right foot on the floor. And bring your strap into both of your hands, just wrap it around once. And then bring the strap around the base of the foot, around the ball of the foot. And just gently start to draw the foot towards the back of the room, behind you. And just allow gravity to open and expand that back of your hamstring. You might want to keep a micro bend in your knee, just if you are getting pain in the knee at all. Keep that micro bend there and just open it up, letting gravity pull your foot backwards. Keep the foot that's on the ground flexed with the heel anchored to the floor. take an inhale. Bring the strap into your left hand. Bring your right hand onto the front of your pelvis on the right side. And just gently start to bring your left foot out to the side of the room. So you're lifting it out to the left side of you, and at the same time you're drawing it towards your shoulder, so lifting it up, so out and up. Really opening the front of the hip here. That's a Supta Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Padangusthasana. Take an inhale. Your next exhale, engage your abdomen and draw your foot upwards. Wrap the strap around your right hand this time. Bring your left thumb just so it's resting on this bony bit here in the front of your pelvis. And start to draw your foot over to the right side of the room. Keep your shoulder blades and your entire pelvis on the floor. So your sacrum should be on the floor. You don't want to be lifting and rolling, but keep that sacrum on the floor. Again, drawing the foot towards the back of the room while you're pulling it towards the right side. And you might not get that far, you might only get to about here, and that's fine. Just do where you're at. Flexibility comes with time and patience. Again, keep a micro bend in that knee just to make sure that you're not causing injury if you're feeling any kind of pain in this part of the knee. You want to open and expand this side of the hip. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Release the foot. And just let it reach and stretch for a moment. You can flip the feet back and forth. Here's the tricky part. We're going to have to turn around so we don't hit the wall on this side. So this time, bring your right foot up. Extend the left leg along the floor or your mat. Keep that heel anchored. Bring the strap into both hands. You might need to move further up on your mat. And wrap the strap around the ball of the right foot. And again, you can draw the right foot towards the back of the room. Keep a micro bend in that right knee. Both shoulder blades remain on the floor. Your pelvis is on the floor, so make sure you're not lifting and tucking, but working towards it. And if you can, keep the back of your calf on the floor as well. It's okay if your knee lifts a little bit, but really see if you can work with your flexibility to keep it close to the floor. And using gravity again to open up the back of your hamstring. Imagining it expanding and opening here. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the strap into your right hand. Bring your left hand onto your left front of your hip. Exhale, reach the right leg out to the side of the room. And just draw it up towards the shoulder as you reach it out. Again, your entire sacrum is on the floor, your shoulders are both on the floor. Really stretching out the pelvis and hips here. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your foot back up to center. And you might need to just move your body to the edge of your mat a little bit more. Bring the strap into your left hand this time. Bring your thumb onto your right hip. And gently just bring your foot towards the left side of the room. Again, pulling the strap towards the back of the room so your foot's always working this way. Opening up the back of the hamstring as well as through the side of the pelvis. Your sacrum's on the floor. Your shoulders are on the floor. So I'll say that again. This is Supta Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Supta means supine, and we're laying down. Hasta means hand. Oops, I forgot Utthita. Utthita means extended. So we're in supine, extended hand. Pada means foot. So it's Supta Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana means supine hand to foot pose. And release the foot. It's one of the longest yoga terms. You can release your strap. Just notice the difference in sensation between one side of your body to the next. Maybe move the feet side to side here. You can bend your legs. Draw your knees into your chest slightly and start to rock back and forth on your spine. So if you'd like, you can come onto your side again and lift yourself up into a seated position that way. Or you can rock yourself back and forth. And just notice if you're using the legs for momentum to lift yourself up, or if you're able to do it with your abdominal muscles and your core. And just notice where you are. You can bring your back against the wall. Line your feet up in the center of your body. And just start to reach your right arm out to the side. You can come onto your forearm if you can get there. And reach your left arm up and over. Really stretching through the left side of the body here. Your gaze can be towards your left elbow. You want to keep your shoulder blades on the wall. So make sure you're not leaning forward at all. We put the wall there so we feel the wall. Again, just come into your breath. See if you can relax and ease into this posture. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back up. Take another inhale. Your next exhale will go to the other side. Reach the right arm up and over. Again, onto the forearm of the left arm, or extending it out, just wherever you are is fine. And just make sure both sits bones remain on the floor. Your shoulder blades are against the wall here also. Just breathing here. Stretching out that right side of the body. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back upright. Come onto your hands and knees. Take an inhale. Lift the chest, lift the gaze, tuck your toes under, lift your tail. Exhale, lower the head and neck. lift the spine, rounding it and press it into the hands. This is Manjariasana, cow pose. Cows have a sway back. This posture is all about the sway back. Exhale. Coming back into Bityalasana or cat pose. Cats, when they're spooked or scared, arch their backs and hiss. So this is cat pose. One more inhale to cow. And then exhale to cat. Come into a neutral posture. Then you can extend your left hand out in front of you. Make sure your wrist is in line with your shoulder blade. Reach that right foot out behind you, keeping the foot in line with the pelvis. Squeezing from every point of your body towards the midline of your body. Make sure there's a micro bend in your elbows, and that hand on the floor is right beneath your shoulder blades. Your knee on the floor is just in line with your pelvis. Exhale here. Take an inhale. Your next exhale, reach the right arm out, plug it into that shoulder socket, and then just kick back that left foot. Make sure your left foot is flexed and pointed towards the floor. Again, squeezing all points of the body towards the midline. Exhale, come back down to the floor. Uncurl the toes, and you can sit back into child's pose. If this is too intense, come into puppy pose. Puppy pose is basically the same as child's pose, except for your bum stays lifted, and you can draw your chest to the floor and rest your forehead on the floor. Apparently I needed to turn off my phone today. Nobody phones usually, they all text now. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands onto the floor. Curl your toes under. Start to lift your tail up. You can bring your hands just slightly in front of you. Lift your tail up, pressing through the hands, drawing your tail towards the ceiling, and then finally lowering your ankles, your heels towards the floor. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Just breathe here. Take an inhale. Exhale. Plug that right foot into your right hip socket. Take a step forward. Plug your left hip into your left hip socket. Take a step forward. Left foot into your right foot into your right foot socket. Step. And your last step on this side. Just stay here for a moment. Take an inhale, reach your head and chest forward. Exhale, just lower one more time. And then gently roll your spine up, one vertebrae at a time. Palms facing forward. Tadasana. Just gonna switch directions so I can see the clock. Reach your arms up. Exhale, take a fold forward. And from here, just bring your hands, so your right hand goes between your legs and then reaches towards the front of the left calf, and then the left hand crosses over it. Actually, let me change that. Right hand behind the right leg onto the front of the left shin. Same thing with the left hand, so they cross each other. So you can see I've got my hands crossed here. And then just press into your feet. Lift your sits bones up. Breathing here. Easing into the breath, easing into the posture. Stretching out the backs of your hamstrings. Make sure there's a micro bend in your knees to prevent injury. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift your head and chest. When we do Ardha Uttanasana, this is half forward fold, make sure your spine is not rounded at all, so you don't want to see these bony bits or feel them at all. They should be collapsing into your spine. Your shoulders are rolling back, your spine is long. And then you can bring your hands to the floor and step back. This time we'll go into a plank posture. So last time we did modified with the child's pose. This time we'll do a modified plank. So on your knees with your plank, there's a micro bend in your elbows, and I'll just show you my elbows. So make sure your elbows aren't facing forward, the inside, but they're facing one another, so towards one another. There's a micro bend there. Your weight is forward so that your shoulders are above your wrists. And then take an inhale, press into the toes, so your toes are curled under. Exhale, bend your elbows 90 degrees so that your chest is level with the ground and your bum goes down at the same time. And then you can just come right onto the floor here. This is plank pose. From here, come onto the top of your feet, roll your shoulders back, press into the hands, and lift your chest off the mat. Press it into the tops of the feet. This is Cobra. Exhale, curl your toes under. Lift your tail up. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Exhale. This time step your right foot forward. Shift your weight over your wrists. And then step your left foot forward. Press into the feet. Lift your head and chest. Extend your spine along. So you're kind of perpendicular with yourself. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up the spine, reaching the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Samasthiti. So that was modified Surya Namaskar A. Take an inhale. Step your right foot back. So again, just make sure the arch of the right foot is in line with the heel of the left foot. Bend that front knee. Bring your pelvis, it can come to the side of the room or the front of the room, whatever you're looking at. Keep that knee above the ankle. And then you can extend your arms out, palms face down. Just keep your wrists in line with your shoulder blades. This is Virabhadrasana 2. Take an inhale here. Exhale. I'm going to move your back to the front of the mat. I'll do that one more time. Bring your foot next to the wall. And this time, step your right foot back, intersecting the feet, as stated previously. Bend the front knee, And then bring your shoulder blades against the wall. This is Virabhadrasana 2. If we're using the wall, we might as well actually engage it if we're right next to it. Take an inhale. Extend your torso forward while you push the right hip back. And you can bring your elbow and rest it on your thigh. Or you can bring it to the inside of the thigh, reaching for the floor. And then draw your shoulder blade back so that it's against the wall. This is Utthita Parsva Konasana, extended side angle. There's that word Utthita again, extend it. Really see if you can lengthen the spine here. Emphasize the twists throughout the chest and ribs. Working to get that right shoulder blade against the wall. Take an inhale. Press into the feet on your exhale. Straighten the front leg. Press the right hip back. And then reach the hand either to the shin, the ankle, the foot, or the floor. And draw your right shoulder blade against the wall. Your gaze can be up towards your thumb. This is Utthita Trikonasana. Another Utthita pose. Extended triangle. Slowing your breath here. Letting go of any tension you may have in your body. Take an inhale, exhale, press into the feet and start to lift yourself up. Turn the feet forward, so both feet are forward. Your bum's against the wall here. And bring your elbows onto your hands on your hips. And start to reach your hands towards the floor. Bring your hands just onto the floor. And then slowly draw your head towards the floor. You may need to widen your stance in order for your head to actually reach. It all depends on the dimensions of your body. So we're just going to do this as a prep for headstand. We're not learning headstand today, but this is a prep for headstand. So just bring your head to the floor, your hands are beside it, in line with your elbows and wrists are in line with one another, developing strength in the legs. Take an inhale, exhale, press into the feet, walk your hands out, and then bring your hands to your hips, and start to lift yourself up. This time, bring your right foot so it's pointing that direction, your toes, and the heels intersecting with the arch of the left foot. Bend your right knee so it's stacked above your right ankle. And then bring your arms out in line with your shoulders here. This time, instead of having palms down, we'll have our palms face up for Virabhadrasana 2. Your gaze is over the middle finger of your right hand. Both shoulder blades are on the floor. Breathing here, deepening here, coming into the full expression of the posture here. See if you can make it easier for yourself. Take an inhale, exhale, press that left hip towards the back of the room As you extend the torso forward, bring your elbow of the right arm onto the thigh, or bring your hand along the shin, the ankle, the foot, or the floor, wherever you're at is fine. And just draw that left shoulder blade back. Reach that left arm up. Again, your right knee is in line with your ankle. This is Utthita Barsha Konasana again. Breathing here. So again, when you're breathing, just breathe through your nose. Have your tongue behind your teeth. Keeping your mouth closed as much as possible. If you have to have your mouth open, try to exhale through the mouth. Take an inhale. Exhale, press into the feet. Straighten the front leg. And then keep your shoulder blades against the wall. And bring your hand so it's either in line with that shin, the ankle, the foot, or you can reach for the floor. For Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle posture. Breathing here. Take an inhale. Exhale. Press into your legs and start to lift yourself up. Turn both feet towards the front of the room. And then turn the ankles inwards, so the toes point outwards. Take an inhale. On your exhale, lift the pelvic floor up and draw your sits bones down. This is Utthita Konasana, or goddess pose. Bring your shoulder blades against the wall. Your bones should be touching the wall. Your groin should be opening and expanding. Breathing here. Take an inhale. Lift your right heel off the floor. Take an exhale, lower it. Inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, lower. Inhale your right heel. Keep it there. Exhale. Inhale left heel. Keep them both there. Breathing here. Exhale, lowering both feet to the ground. And then press into the thighs on an exhale, coming back upright. We're going to take a break from that for a moment, so just walk your feet together. Come to the center of your mat. Again, keeping your feet close to the wall, but generally speaking, bums are a little bit more girthier than feet, so make sure you have room for your bum. Bring your arms up on the wall. And just hold the left wrist with your right hand. Feet are about hip width, maybe a little bit more apart. Keep your spine and shoulder blades against the wall. And just start to stretch to the right side. So the left side of your body is opening and expanding. This is Chandrasana, moon pose. See if you can make it easier for yourself. And really try to extend long while in this posture so you're not collapsing the ribs into the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, press into the feet and come back upright. This time your left hand holds the right wrist. Take an inhale, reaching up. Exhale, leaning towards the left side of the room, stretching out the right side of the body. Your gaze can be towards your right elbow. Keeping both shoulder blades on the wall. breathing here, extending, making sure you're not collapsing into that left rib and hip. Inhale, press into the feet, come back up, and release your hands. Take an inhale. Bring your left foot towards the front of your mat. Your right foot can extend back. Press that right hip back. Come back into triangle pose. So extending, pressing the right hip back, extending the torso forward, and then reaching that right arm up. You can bring the left hand to the floor if you feel it is beneficial to your body. Breathe here for 1 minute more. Maybe not a whole minute, just a moment. And exhale, look towards the floor. Bring your right hand onto your sacrum. Shift your weight into your left foot. So really, we're going to come into a balance on the left foot. Bend the knees slightly. Shift the weight forward. And then bring your left hand to the floor and open up the back of the pelvis onto the wall so that the leg is against the wall. And then you can open up the right arm. So the shoulder blades are touching the wall, the right heel is against the wall, and the left side of the glutes are against the wall. This is Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Really working to keep that right shoulder blade on the wall and extending through every point of the body here. Take an inhale, exhale, bend that front leg and bring your back leg to the earth. We'll do the same thing the other side, and I'll just give you a modification so it's a bit easier. Get a block. You may or may not reach the floor. So come into your triangle posture again. Press that left hip back this time. And then reach your right hand along the floor. Extend that left arm if you're able to, otherwise keep it on your sacrum. And just open the shoulder blades over to the back of the wall. Breathing here. Opening here. So triangle is really an interesting posture because this leg's pointing this way, that leg's pointing that way. So there's an external rotation on this leg and an internal rotation on this leg. And then your chest is also opening up at the same time. Really twisting through the thoracic spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, look down. Bring your left hand onto your sacrum. If you have a block or book or something that can be supportive to you, bring it in front of you, just in front of you. And then bring your left foot up the wall. You can keep your hand on the sacrum if it helps you balance, or bring your left arm up and extend through all points of the body. Make sure that back foot, that the toes are pointing towards the floor and that the heel is against the wall. This is Ardha Chandrasana on this side. Really opening and expanding through all points of the body. Half moon pose. So Chandra is moon. When we're against the wall standing and leaning to the side, that was Chandrasana, which was moon pose, and this is half moon pose. They're totally different postures. I'm not sure how this looks like half the moon, but it is called half moon pose. Your gaze can be up towards the fingers of the left hand. Take an inhale, exhale, release, then step back. Walk your feet in, and then just step the feet slightly forward and lower yourself down into a seated position. Try to keep your knees above your ankles. And just breathe here for a minute. We'll just stay in the squat for a moment. Take an inhale. Exhale, press into the feet and the legs and come back up. So, I'm going to face the camera. You don't have to face the camera. You can face whichever direction you are looking naturally. Take an inhale and start to bring your weight into your left leg. So spread those toes out wide, really anchor into all four corners of the foot. Keep your spine long, chest lifting, shoulders back. Start to bend that left knee. And when you're ready, just cross the right knee over the left. Find a drishti or a focal point somewhere on the floor or the wall in front of you to help you maintain your balance. And you can stay here like this, or you can bring your right arm under your left arm and either hug yourself here or bring your palms to touch, lifting your elbows in line with your shoulders. The purpose of this posture is to really build balance and strength through that left leg while stretching the arms and shoulders. This is Garudasana, eagle pose. And if you're feeling really motivated, you can bring that right foot so that it winds behind the calf of the left leg. Just wherever you are. I'm looking around and talking. I need to focus. Stay where you are. Take an inhale, exhale, press into the foot and release. That's eagle pose. We'll do the same thing on the right side of the body. So bring your weight into that right foot, spreading it wide, anchoring all four corners, finding your balance on this side of your body. And then start to bend the knee, cross the left one over top for eagle pose on this side. Bring your arms, the left one underneath the right, either hug yourself or bring your palms to touch. Deepen your squat, finding balance here, lifting the elbows in line with the shoulders, slowing the breath. Drawing all corners of the body towards your midline. We did a lot of hip opening today, so we're just lining ourselves back up. Take an inhale, exhale, release the posture. And we'll do one more vinyasa. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take a forward fold. And just bring the hands underneath the feet. You can bend the knees as much as you need to here. Just come into Uttanasana or Padahastasana as best as you can. Again, Pada means foot, Hasta means hand. So this is foot-hand posture. let yourself breathe here and slow down your breath. Take an inhale. Bring your hands to your shins. Extend your spine long. Exhale, your hands to the floor. Step back, tucking your toes under, coming onto your knees for your modified plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward so your shoulders are in line with your wrists. Exhale, bend 90 degrees at your elbows, lowering the chest and coming onto the belly. Chaturanga Dandasana. Come onto the tops of your feet, press into the tops of the feet, roll the shoulders back, press into the hands, cobra pose. Breathing here. And exhale, tuck your toes under. Lift your seat up and draw your tail towards the ceiling for Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathing here. Take an inhale. And just bring your feet out in front of you. So sit down. Bend your knee. And if this is too much for your knee, then you can bring the foot into the groin. But otherwise, bend your knee, flex the back foot, keep the front foot extended. Twist your body so your chest is facing this bent knee. And then exhale, start to reach your hand along the shins, the ankle, the foot, the toe. And twist so that your shoulder is working towards the back of the room again. You can even incorporate the wall if that feels good to do so on this side. But then you'll have to switch sides or directions that you're facing the next time if you do it this way. Keep both sits bones on the floor here. If it helps, you can put a blanket underneath your sits bones to raise yourself up a little bit. This is Janu Sirsasana. With a twist, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, move away from the wall if you chose to use it. Inhale, lift your chest and gently draw your chest towards your thigh. Walk your hands out, reaching for the foot, and then lower the chest, lower your gaze. Make sure you're hinging from the pelvis. And again, don't worry about your flexibility. It comes with time and patience. Take an inhale, lift your head and chest, and gently walk yourself back upright. You can bring your legs wide in front of you. You can have your back against the wall if that helps you. We'll do the same thing from this posture. So again, leaning to that right side, reaching for the shin, the ankle, the foot, or the toe, and then reaching that left arm up and over here. Again, lengthening and extending, making sure you're not collapsing into the ribs of the right side or the hip, that there's space between them. That's an extension. Keeping that left sits bone anchored to the floor so that you're stretching all the way from the sits bone through the fingertips. Prasarita Padottanasana. Super. Take an inhale. Reach the arm up and lift your torso up on the exhale. Inhale here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Draw your chest forward and start to walk the hands out in front of you. Keep your feet flexed and just extend your chest towards the floor. On the inhale, lift the chest. On your exhale, lower the chest. Inhale, walk your fingers out, lift the chest. Exhale, lower the chest. Inhale, walk your fingers out, lift the chest. Exhale, lower the chest. You'll find gently over time that as you inhale, lifting the chest and walking the fingers out, your chest becomes lower and lower to the floor. Keep your feet flexed. Take an inhale. Walk your hands back. And exhale, come back upright. Take another inhale. Exhale. This time lean towards the left side of the body. You can reach for that shin, ankle, foot, or toe. Twist the right shoulder blade back. Reach it back. And then reach overhead. If you can reach your other hand, great. If not, that's fine. Working with where you are right now. Take an inhale. And then exhale here. One more inhale. Exhale, lifting the right arm and coming back upright. So bend that right knee this time. So again, if you had the foot on the inside of the groin, bring it there. You can bring yourself against the wall for the first twist. Otherwise, keep both sit down bones on the ground. Take an inhale. Draw your chest towards the front of the room and your shoulder blades towards the back. Draw your arm along the shin to as far as you can reach. You can keep it on the shin or you can draw your elbow to the floor. Wherever you're at is great. And then just reach the arm of the right hand up. And if you reach the foot, great. If not, that's fine. Just work with your body where you're at. Let go of what your expectation is for yourself or your comparison of yourself, and just go with where you're at. Take an inhale. Exhale here. One more inhale. And then exhale. Engage your belly. Lift your right arm and come back up. Now you will need to come away from the wall slightly for this posture. Inhale, draw your chest forward and start to lean forward, hinging from the pelvis. Keep both sits bones on the floor and gently walk your hands out towards your foot. Again, extending the chest on the inhale and then exhale, lowering it, drawing closer to the thigh. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to walk yourself back. Bring both legs in front of you. Bend your knees and just move your legs from side to side. Just bring some blood flow back. Bring your feet in front of you. Keep your shoulders above your pelvis, so make sure you're not too far back slouching or leaning forward slouching. But try to stay with your shoulders and your hips in one line. Reach the arms up. Exhale. Draw your chest towards your thighs, so we're hinging from the pelvis. And again, I think we talked about this in the last class. Just bring your leg into your hip sockets, walk yourself back. Draw your chest closer as you do so. For Paschimottanasana. Slowing down the breath here, breathing deeply. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to lift the chest. Then come all the way back up. Bring your bum so it's more in the center of your mat. And gently start to draw your back onto the mat. Bring your palms onto the floor. Your feet should be in line with your sits bones. And you can just gently start to rock your pelvis forward. Lift the pelvis off the floor, rolling up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Keep your knees so that they're squeezing together. If this is challenging, then you can get a strap and anchor it around your knees. Or you can use a block and hold it between your thighs. And just lift your pelvis off the ground. Tucking your shoulder blades underneath you. You can interlace the fingers, pressing the pelvis up towards your ceiling. And just play with your block. See if you want it wider between your legs or closer together. Breathing here. Setu Bandhasana, baby bridge pose. Exhale, bring your hands on the floor, release the shoulders, and start to lower the pelvis here. Just move yourself slightly away from the wall. Take an inhale. Bring your feet to the floor, shift your weight over to, shift your pelvis over to the left side, so towards the wall. And then cross your left knee over your right and move your legs over to the right side of the room. Look over your left shoulder. Keep both shoulder blades on the floor. And you can keep your arms about 90 degrees with one another so that the elbow's in line with the shoulder. Jatara Pavriti, supine twist. And again, we're just crossing our legs over one another and twisting here, closing up everything. Slow your breath. And come back to your intention of letting go. How did your practice go today? Did you find yourself more in line with where you're at? Being patient with your growth? Or were you expecting to
be more advanced at this point than you are. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring the head back to center. Lift the knees. And just come to the furthest edge of your mat, away from the wall. Lift the feet. Cross the right knee over the left. Draw your legs over to the left side of the room. And look over your right shoulder. Your elbows are in line with your shoulders again. Really twisting through the whole front of the torso. Keep your shoulder blades on the ground. And work to draw your hips, your knees towards the earth. Again, just accept where you're at. Let go of expectation, let go of comparison. And be patient and compassionate with yourself. Really find the restoration in this posture. The activation of the nervous system. The entire spinal cord is being used in this posture. Take an inhale. Bring your knees back up. And twist the legs. And bring yourself to the center of your mat. You can bring your feet to the outside edge of your mat. And just bring your right arm over top of your left, crossing them over your chest. And I have a toddler who has just woken up. She's going to join me for yoga. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment so I can take care of her needs. And then I'll join you. So we'll finish where we were until that she's eating. Find yourself on your back, your feet about mat width apart, and your right arm crossed over your left, just across your chest. You can finish this up. And then switch sides so that the left is over top of the right, across your chest. And now you can release the arms, walk the feet in, and bring your hip against the wall. We'll come into Shavasana against the wall here today. So your hips are against the wall. And then just bring your feet up against the wall. And you can bring your arms out so the palms are facing up onto the floor or the mat. Or you can have one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Or you can just rest both hands on your belly. Whatever feels the most restful to you in Shavasana today. And just take time here, wind down. Thank yourself for making time for yoga. Thank yourself for being patient with your body and growing with your body. Some days our bodies move more easily than others. Some days we need to do more to nurture our bodies. Just let go of any expectation you have of your body and accept where it's at right now. Relax the space between the eyes. Relax the jaw. Let the head fall into the mat. The base of the skull resting here. Just take time. Let your shoulders rest into the mat, into the earth. Notice which points of your body are touching the earth. Slowing your breath, deepening your breath, focusing on your inhale and your exhale. And noticing the sensations of having the feet elevated and supported. Noticing how it feels. Noticing how it feels to have the legs extending up. And we'll close here for Shavasana today. When you're ready to come out of this posture, just roll your feet over to the side. Take a moment on your side, support your head and neck. And then you can come up. Otherwise, stay there as long as you like to. Thank you for sharing this yoga practice with me today. From my heart to yours.